What's up, detectives? It's Detective Malcolm, and I'm here to teach you guys a little bit more about the game of D-Spears. Let's get into it. Alright, so you're almost ready to play your first game of D-Spirits. If you watched the last video, you already understand the components of a spirit card. But if you want to play, you need to know a little bit more. In this video, I'm going to teach you about two different types of cards from a support deck. Those two cards are the Signal and Sign cards. Signal and Sign cards are very important to the game of D-Spirits. These cards are going to let you do things similar to D-Spirits effects or abilities, but you don't actually have to have the D-Spirit out on the field to do them. These cards get played directly from your hand and do a lot of cool things in the game that are really going to shake things up and give you the edge. Signal and Sign cards are very similar to each other, except they have one big difference. The difference is a Sign card will say the name of the card, where a Signal card will say the name of the card and then it has a lightning bolt right next to it. If your card doesn't have a lightning bolt, that means you can only play this card on your turn. If it does have a lightning bolt, that means you can play the card on your turn or your opponent's turn, which can be incredibly useful in the game. Because these cards get played from your hand, it's really easy to catch your opponent off guard with these. So you want to make sure you keep a good balance of spirits and support cards in your hand. These cards can also be played whenever, as long as the card doesn't specify otherwise. For instance, the card Soul Control says you can only play this card at the beginning of your opponent's turn, which means you have to play this card before they summon any more D-Spirits out on the field. But if the card doesn't specify, you can play it whenever as long as you're able to. The cool thing about these cards is there's no limit to how many you can play in a turn. You can play as many as you're able to or want to in a turn. So if you have 4 in your hand and you're able to play all 4, go for it. A lot of people when playing the game of D-Spirits get really caught up in the spirit aspect of it, and all they want to do is play D-Spirits and fight with those. But I promise you, once you learn how to effectively use your support deck, you'll be so much better at the game. For instance, there's the card Spirit Buff. Now, this is a Sign card, which means it doesn't have the lightning bolt in the corner, but it's still super useful. What this card lets you do is, for one turn, you can boost the D-Spirit on the field by 500 power and endurance. This card can be so helpful in a turn in which you don't have any D-Spirits that have enough power to take out one of your opponent's D-Spirits. You can use this card, boost yourself by 500, and then you're back in the game. Signal cards, which are the ones with the lightning bolt, are really good for reactionary plays. For instance, the card Reflection, if your opponent controls 2 or more D-Spirits while they're attacking one of your D-Spirits, you can play the card Reflection, and instead of them attacking you, you can choose for them to attack one of their own D-Spirits. I don't even think I need to explain why this is so useful in the game. There aren't too many better feelings than watching your opponent accidentally take out one of their own D-Spirits. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about Signal and Sign cards. Hopefully this video not only taught you how to use Signal and Sign cards, but their importance, because these cards can really change up a game by a lot. While watching videos is a great way to learn how to play the game of D-Spirits, the best way to learn is by getting out there on the battlefield and playing. So make sure you go find one of your friends, hop on the battlefield, and get some games in. I'm Detective Malcolm, and like always, I'll catch you guys out on the D battlefield. Peace.